Did the Emperor screw humanity by becoming a god?
Many of us know that the Emperor is the beacon of humanity, hope for all humankind, but at the same time, if you've read the Horus Heresy and you've come to the end and the death, you know that the Emperor is also fighting a different side of himself, the Dark King, an entity of warp and malice that can destroy the entire civilization of humanity.
And the last time a god being was born was with Slaanesh. And what happened when Slaanesh was born?
It basically fucked over the Eldar hard, to the point where they can never achieve their golden age. What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1.
And today we are bringing you a spooky version of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And happy spook season, spooktober, spook week.
Yep, Halloween.
We are celebrating it by asking scary questions. If you guys have scary questions for us to, talk about next week, ask away. Even though it's going to be November, we're still going to be able to, because I was trying to think, November, we have something special for you guys in November. I might not say it right now because I don't remember what it's called, but there is. Anyways, this question comes from Musica Player. He asks, did the Emperor sacrifice the potential of human evolution for his own godhood?
This is a very interesting question because there's a lot that goes into it. Many of us know that the Emperor is the beacon of humanity, hope for all humankind, but at the same time, if you've read the Horus Heresy and you've come to the end and the death, you know that the Emperor is also fighting a different side of himself, the Dark King, an entity of warp and malice that can destroy the entire civilization of humanity. Everything that he's built up will come crumbling down. And because of that, is the Emperor doing all this to really better humanity? Or is it all this just so he can tear it down? The Emperor may not be who everybody thought he once was.
And in that it's the duality of this. It's the warp entity within him, or the warp powers within him, fighting the humanity within who he is. Because at the end of the day, we've got to remember that the Emperor is what is it called? The one true man.
Yeah, he's the one, the chosen one.
Psychers sacrificed themselves in order to birth this Emperor. So he's a psychic being. And the last time a god being was born was with Slaanesh. And what happened when Slaanesh was born?
It basically fucked over the Eldar hard, to the point where they can never achieve their golden age. They are a dying race, and they have been since Slaanesh's inception, to the point where their birth rate has declined. They've had to use soul stones so that Slaanesh doesn't eat up their souls when they pass on, and it's just a huge thorn on their side.
So if the Eldar help create Slaanesh, why would Slaanesh just destroy and obliterate the Eldar so much so that she seeks them out? We know why. The lore says that Eldar are the most delicious snack for Slaanesh because of their psychic powers and all that kind of stuff. But also there's just no veneration that the Eldar have for Slaanesh. She is she who thirsts. It's just pure it's pure lust and all that kind of stuff.
Perfection. And there hasn't been any Eldar that actually actively prays to them. Yeah. Even the Dark Eldar, they're not chaos. They're just sadistic dudes.
They're just guys with kinks.
Yeah, they're emo.
And nobody yuck anybody's yum, all right?
Mm-hmm.
If they like making humans into furniture, that's their thing. There's clubs in Chicago for that. But to go back on to the topic, with the death of the Eldar Empire, or the golden age of the Eldar Empire, came Slaanesh. So with the death of humanity would come the God Emperor, the God of, I know people have said the God of light or the God of order. But yeah, so is he dooming them in that way? Yeah. Another thing too is that when we talk about the Horus Heresy and how humanity could have gone a different way. Like if Horus would have won the Horus Heresy, it would have been better for the universe in terms of their fight against chaos, because within that civil war that would have happened if Horus would have won, it would have wiped out the majority of humanity, and there's no psychic powers to give to these chaos gods.
Yeah, because let's not forget that the chaos gods' main source of power is the belief from all these sentient psyker humans.
Yeah.
Not the Xenos, but humanity itself. So if humanity gets obliterated due to the Horus Heresy, then yeah, because humanity has been weakened so much, that also will cause ripples in the warp, essentially weakening the gods of chaos.
Yeah, and I think that if the Emperor knew this and he still said, no, I still want to win and I still want to like stay alive, it just kind of highlights a level of selfishness. But I mean, I guess that's going a little bit too far because we don't know what he does know.
Right. I mean, he lights the Astronomicon. He gives the Sisters of Battle their miracles. He's still somewhat telling the Custodes and Gilliman what to do and how to do it. But at the same time, he's just a figurehead. He's just a means to keep humanity in check because of the Imperial Creed. Venerate, die, give your life for the Emperor, do this for the Emperor, pay your tithes for the Emperor. And it's just like, yeah, he's on the throne. He's not able to lead like how he once used to. But at the same time, he's still giving humanity that hope where they're just besieged by the Xenos, the heretic, the witch, in this galaxy of only war.
I was thinking about this the other day when you look at the Emperor was supposed to be about the imperial truth, and he was supposed to be about giving power back to the people, humanity.
Right.
So much so that he even told his Primarchs, hey, at the end of the day, we need to let humanity rule themselves. His Space Marines, the Primarchs were all going to pull back, and the Emperor was going to pull back and let like the Imperium rule itself. So you have that kind of image of what the Emperor was, but then what actually is happening, this like dystopian society, and you think about it and you're like, well, why weren't you establishing that during the Great Crusade? And maybe he was, and we're just kind of like, at this point, the way that the story is being told, it's being told through like I wouldn't say the ones that won, because nobody really won, but from this dystopian like universe, and like I wonder if the imperial truth was even real, and like if the Emperor was actually trying to help humanity, or he was just a warmonger and kind of weird things like
people
that.
often say that everything the Emperor was doing was going against what he was saying.
Yeah,
like the whole "don't venerate me as a god," and yet he's acting like this super powerful god figure. He's keeping away the knowledge of chaos, of demons, from both humanity and his Primarchs, the Space Marines as well. So it's like the Emperor is withholding all this knowledge, and because of that, that's what led to all the little mishaps and miscommunications that began the whole Horus Heresy.
Yeah. So is the Emperor supposedly holding back humanity? I think for the most part, or for like some part, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But at the same time, that's like the Emperor. He's not this omnipotent god. He's a flawed human at the end of the day. And it just shows you that no matter how hard humanity tries, they will stumble and fall. And humanity's more about picking up the pieces than being this perfect thing.
Yeah. You also mentioned something. Oh, so if he is a flawed being, imagine him becoming a god. He's going to be a flawed god.
Right.
Which is kind of scary, and it kind of like highlights that, oh yeah, humanity would suffer if the Emperor became a god. Not just because of what we just said, but just because by his nature, he's not that great. I was also thinking about how in today's current era, it feels very much like people live in like ignorance, and they allow, like they know that there are superstructures that exist, or not even superstructures, but there are structures and procedures that exist, and they're there, but they don't really know how they work, like the inner workings of, let's say, the judicial system or stuff like that. it's the same way with humanity. The Imperium knows that like there's this bureaucratic like craziness to everything, but nobody really knows how things work, and the enemy from within uses that to manipulate you and to control you and all that kind of stuff. So is it just humanity that like we are inevitably ignorant and we will just continue to like fall victim to like belief? Yeah. So no matter how hard the emperor and the imperial truth would have worked, at the end, like humans just want to by themselves regress to being like, no, I believe in you, God Emperor, so I'm going to.
Right. And that's exactly what happened, because he was preaching logic, science, technology. And what happened? Oh, let's just see the Emperor as a god.
Yeah.
Let's pray to the Omnissiah. Let's pray to the machine spirit of this toaster that I have no idea how it works. But if I pray, it might work.
Yeah, and then the argument could be like, oh, well, Lorgar and the Word Bearers and the Lectitio Divinatis was there, and that's what corrupted humanity. But what about the Adeptus Mechanicus? Like, the Adeptus Mechanicus did the same thing. So, I don't know. I think a lot of the times, we as Warhammer 40K fans fail to realize the blatant, like, what is it called? Like it's a caricature. Like 40K is
a satire.
It's a satire where like humanity is like, or that 40K is a dystopia. Everything's stagnant and people believe that a machine works, but in reality, it's like, well, just because I don't know how AI works, and we forget that, and then we need shows like what's the Space King called? Space King, right?
Yeah, Space King. Yeah.
Yeah, we need that to remind us. Oh yeah. 40K is stupid. Because, yeah, some of y'all be posting some Facebook stuff that's just kind of like, you guys do realize that this is satire. But, yeah, anyways, good question.
Yeah.
Next one.
Next one, I got one by BCVG. If the Chaos Realms and the worlds of the inherent entities of the warp are deadly areas that have eventually manifested into actual planets, what would be the deadliest planet out there?
So from the 4 Chaos
from the like the Zeech's Labyrinth, the Palace of Slanesh, the Nurgle's Gardens. If those became tangible worlds, what would be the deadliest?
The boring answer to that is they would all be dangerous.
Well, obviously, right? Yeah, they're freaking demon worlds. Yeah.
I think a demon world of Tzeentch would not be that dangerous. It would be more of like what are those rooms that you go into and they give you like a treasure hunt kind of thing?
Oh, like
escape room.
Yeah, escape room. Yeah.
I feel like that's what a Tzeentchian planet would be. Nurgle would just be gross. It would just be like, even though you would make it out of there a happy person.
Yeah, it'd be gross, and you'd slowly get infected, and you'd see your body kind of like decay, but slowly you'll realize that it's not that bad.
Well, yeah, the blessings of Grandfather Nurgle kind of showcase that, like, yeah, no, you're going to stay alive because Grandfather Nurgle just wants you to continue to die. Entropy forever. And then I think Khorne will be kind of
Khorne's like the least fun, I guess. Like, it's just, you're just gonna fight demons. You're on like a world of like blood and skulls, and like as soon as a demon sees you, he's gonna chase you till he chops you up and you die.
Yeah. And remember that when we talk about this, it's all through the perspective of us being not humans walking into this planet, but us being like space marines and tough dudes.
Because if a human even like goes into the atmosphere, they'll go crazy.
Yeah, you die right away. And so I think it leaves it up to Slanesh. So Slanesh planet would be the worst planet of all the demon planets, just because I feel like it's pleasure, but not in the pleasure that like you like. Like your nipples would be ripped off every day. Demons would like kiss you until they start biting your flesh off. Like really, really gross shit like that.
Yeah, and especially if you see like a demonette of Slanesh, when you see them as like your wildest desires.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, but then eventually Natalie Portman's face starts like melting off, and you see the demon for what grotesque thing they are.
Yeah, and it's like sucking you off.
With their clawed hands. And they're like 6 nipples.
Gross.
But only on one side.
Yeah. So yeah, at the end of the day, Slanesh. Slanesh is the winner for me.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's gonna talk about what's the lesser god?
Oh, Vastor?
Yeah.
It's just a factory. Just go to...
It's a warehouse job.
Yeah, if you've worked at Amazon before, that's what it is.
Yeah. The next question comes from the big one. What can 40K teach us about dealing with the hardships of crippling constipation?
Sometimes you're not supposed to push.
No, constipation and Warhammer 40K are like peanut butter and jelly. Because let's be honest, if you're reading the codex, you're reading it on the can. And if you're constipated,
you're reading it longer.
Yeah. And you need to read some of those passages like 10 times because rules as written versus rules as intended is a conversation that you have on the toilet with yourself.
Yeah, and let's not forget, just like the food that made you all stuck up on the inside, everything you're reading gameplay-wise is already outdated.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Next question. I have one, and this would be the last question probably.
All right, go for it.
Have you ever heard about that weird green sun thing some orcs and guardsmen talk about? Supposedly it shows up over a battlefield, and when it does, all the orcs nearby get way smarter and fight like they've got a plan. Psychers say they can even hear chanting when it appears.
Yeah, I can't say that I've heard about it, but like I could picture it in my mind of like there's a war field and then the sun and the horizon just starts to get green. Maybe it's just a coalescing of like wall energy that's like, because I heard a rumor, or I don't even know if it's a rumor or a theory, that like orcs kind of mentally pump themselves up to the point where they need to be to fight on equal terms with whatever they're fighting against. So like the Quarks were so badass back in the day because they were fighting the old ones, they were fighting the Eldar when they were like at the peak of their power, so they needed to be that strong. And then obviously we see that nowadays we have like humanity and they're not as strong as like how the galaxy used to be back during the war in heaven. So the orcs have made themselves become weaker in order to fight on equal terms so that they're not doing this like so they're having a more fun in battle instead of just like stomping the enemy right away.
I like that. As an orc player, I approve.
It's like, yeah, I could be the best warrior in the galaxy, but I'm fighting humans, so I gotta like mentally and physically dumb myself down to be on the equal playing field.
So like the green chanting and the green things that, or the sounds that Psychers hear is probably just like the collective consciousness of the orcs being like, we can do more, but right now you're doing fine kind of thing. That'd be cool.
Yeah, just a theory, just a thought.
Yeah. And those were the questions for today. Thank you guys so much for listening and hanging out. Don't forget we do this every week, so subscribe to the channel to get more.
That's right. Keep those questions coming, and so will we. And again, Horror Week is coming up, so stay subscribed for that. This has been the Sound Alchemist here with
Gershwin,
and we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.